Find that you have really tight hamstrings and you've stretched and stretched but don't quite know what to do next, or you actually just need some stretches. In this video, we're going to go over some different types of stretches, also what could be affecting you instead of just tight hamstrings, and what you need to be doing about it to actually fix the situation. So the first thing that we're going to go into is a pretty basic stretch. So you have a wider stance with your feet. Your hands are on the ground in front of you, kind of similar to a downward dog. And then you're going to walk your hands back until you feel your hamstrings starting to stretch. This is going to allow you to gauge this instead of just going straight from standing and bending over. Because a lot of times if you have tight hamstrings, that you can't actually relax them enough to get where you're getting that good solid stretch. This kind of walking your hands back allows you to get some of that solid stretch, have some weight on your hands, and relax your body a little bit as you're going. You want to try to keep a flat back in this, but if it starts to round a little bit, that's okay. That's just your hamstrings pulling down on the back side of your pelvis, making you have that wanting to round your back position. This keeps you in more of that hamstring type stretch versus a back stretch that will happen if you've completely let your back round and then bend over with it. If you feel this going down into your calf, then you will kind of pulse in and out of this. This is your sciatic nerve that you're feeling. And it can kind of get a little bit irritated, pissed off, and send you more numbness, tingling, and sharp shooting pains if you piss it off. And so if you start feeling that kind of numbness or tingling in your foot or your calf or the backside of your leg, then we want to pulse in and out of this. And so you'll step your hands back and then walk your hands back forward. Step your hands back, walk your hands back forward. And you're not seeking quite as strong of a stretch in this. Do it about 10 times if you're pulsing, and hold it about 15 seconds if you're holding it. Repeat 2 or 3 times. The next exercise is where you're on your back and you're going to have your hands kind of interlaced behind your knee. Then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be straightening your leg using your quad. Your foot is going to be nice and relaxed, and then you'll relax it back down. What we're using in this kind of position is an agonist-antagonist relationship. Basically, if you want to straighten your knee using your quad, your brain and body sends a signal to your hamstring that says, relax. I can't use my bicep and have my tricep working as well. I can't bend my elbow and have my tricep wanting to straighten. And so that's what this does, is it makes your hamstring relax, and so you can get a better stretch into it. What it also does in this position is that if you do have any sciatic nerve irritation or tendencies of being irritated, then pumping in and out of this position helps with stretching and basically decreasing the irritation of your sciatic nerve as you are stretching your hamstring. 2 benefits for the price of 1. Do about 10 to 12 pumps on each side, take a break, and repeat. The next thing to think about is, how am I actually strengthening my hamstrings and stretching my hamstrings? And so when it comes to a deadlift, this is more of a straight leg deadlift. You're still going to have a little bit of a bend in your knee, but as you go into your hip hinge, your back is nice and flat. You go down until you feel like your hamstrings are tight. This means that your back will want to move second, and we don't want your back to move in a deadlift. And so as you're doing your deadlift, you are technically stretching as well. And there's several research studies that say that this type of stretching really helps with the length and supporting the hamstring to help it become longer and less constricted. And so as you're doing your deadlift, you'll want to do some lighter weight deadlifts that work just strictly on your range of motion. If you're loaded too heavy, then you're going to put yourself at risk for injuries, and we don't want that. And so lighter weight, maybe even like no weight, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, as you're going down into this deadlift, really seat down that last little bit, keep your back nice and flat, make sure it's not rounding, and get that hamstring stretch at the very end of your range of motion, and then come on back up. Repeat, go down, come on back up. And that in and of itself is a hamstring stretch, eccentrically loaded, that will really help you get more length for that hamstring. The other reason why you may be having some hamstring issues, one is just positioning. You ride your bike a lot, or you sit at a desk a lot, and you may just need some more stretches. Just some people are like that. Other people are actually more flexible in many other places, and they tend to have tight hamstrings. If you are more of that person, then usually it's that you're not using your glutes as well as you need to, and that you're trying to use your hamstrings for more than what it actually is supposed to be used for. This is where you need core and glute strengthening exercises. You can check out this video for some core exercises, for some strength exercises, and you can check out this video for some other glute exercises and how to actually work on your activation patterning to help you eliminate some of this problem and to strengthen your core and your glutes. Those kind of go hand in hand together to make it where you offload your hamstrings and don't feel as tight through them. Hope this was helpful for you. Go to your hamstring stretches, strengthening, and or core glute strengthening if you feel like you need more of that. Bye, y'all.